Are we recording? Yes, we are. Alright, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is a very special day. I've been wanting to make this video for a while because I keep getting asked, what gear do I use? What do I use to motovlog? What camera am I using? So today we're making that video. So stay tuned. First things first, my bag. Show you guys my bag. It's the, I have the Kriega R25. I think 25 stands for 25 liters. I'm not sure. Got good reviews. The reason I got this bag is because of the warranty it has. I believe it's like 10 years manufacturer warranty, and it's great. It's very simple. It's simplistic in its design. One issue I do have is trying to buckle it. I think all I need to do is loosen these, and then this will buckle just fine. But I have a hard time buckling both. That's how it's supposed to be, but it's really tight, and I think I have to loosen these. And then I just haven't done it. I mean, the way I do it has been working just fine. Inside my bag, I'm sorry if the audio sucks. You guys are on my iPhone XS Max. The video quality on the iPhone is actually really, really excellent. And yeah, that just the audio, just you would have to add a better microphone, to be honest. So here's my camera. Everybody always asks me, what kind of camera do you use? This is it. The Sony A7 II. I opted for the A7 II because, one, the A7R2 is a little bit more expensive, and then the A7S II is a little bit more geared towards video. The price was a lot better than both, and I only shoot in 1080 anyway, so this was good enough for me. It does slow motion, 60 frames per second. Most of the time I'm vlogging with this camera right here. It has the 28mm f2. Again, Sony. It's a very, very good quality lens. It's very light. This setup is extremely light. I have the Rode Video Micro. Again, it's a really good microphone for on the go, and it works. This stand right here is from Newer. It's just like a tripod. I don't use the Gorilla Pod because I've heard stories of it just, yeah, it's a weird thing to use apparently, but I don't know, I might give it a go in the future, but we'll see. This has worked for me. These legs extend like so, very easy, just twist. See, usually when I'm taking photos, I really like the 85. So this is the Sony 85-1.8. I use prime lenses. I do have one wide angle lens. I'll show you guys when I get home. But this is my very minimalist motorcycle movie making gear. Okay, so this is my 85-1.8. This will get me really good pictures, and actually I use this for a video too. It's a really excellent lens. It's very sharp. 2.8 and above, it's very sharp. I don't really play with the 1.8 too much, so I'm sure it's pretty sharp too. The saturation on this, the color on this lens is excellent. It's really, really excellent, and I recommend it. It's an 85 for around 500 bucks. You really can't go wrong. That's actually pretty cheap considering that it's an 85-1.8. All right guys, here we go. All right, so what I use for my helmet is the 5. The reason I like using the 5 is because I have a 7 too that I use as an onboard. The 7 is actually, the image stabilization on the 7 is actually way better than the 5 is. So I use it on board because this bike is really, it shakes a lot. and the vibrations really mess up the video. And since I'm using the 5 for the helmet anyway, my helmet acts as a stabilizer, so it's not really as shaky because my neck and my body is absorbing all the vibrations. Whereas this right here, this actually shakes like crazy. But when I make a video, the image stabilization, it just works. It works so well. I love the 7, especially like if you're gonna be doing motorcycle content. Do yourself a favor. If you have a choice between the 6, did I call that a 5? I'm gonna call that a 5. The 6 and the 7. 7 is just a better GoPro. I think it's the best one they've made yet. I hated the 5. I never went with the 5. I stuck with the 4 until they came out with the 6. The 6's image stabilization was really good, but the 7 is, I think they got it right with the 7. As far as audio goes, you know, you guys know the spiel. This thing, I actually have a Ceramonic mic in there, and it's just kind of let's see that, just kind of set up. It's set up right in there. You guys see that? So it makes this like weird buzzing, like cracking sound when I'm riding hard. It's really annoying, so I might actually change that out. Anyway, back to the studio. I call it the studio, but it's my house. Alright, so you guys saw what I bring with me. It's not much. Got my DSLR, my phone, a couple GoPros, mic, my little stand, little tripod, but that's it. But I do have a lot of other crap. So here's all my GoPros, the two sixes, 7 black. I actually have 2 of these. One of them's in my car right now. This is the 4. These are all my ND filters. Right there. I have 2 sets of them. But again, I like the 16. It's not too dark. The 32, I feel like the 32 is just a little too dark. But the 16 might be not dark enough during bright days, but I just deal with the 16 on really bright days, and just in general, I use the 16. I'm into photography. I've been photographing for a while, and I do have a bunch of photography stuff that I do sometimes use when I'm making videos, especially here at home. Got this this gimbal, the Feotech A1000. So it's that gimbal right there, which I don't really use that much. I did buy it because I thought I was going to use it. You know, just going through YouTube, the YouTube experience over the year. I'm not a videographer. I didn't know what the heck the frames per second was. I didn't know how it correlated to your shutter speed and all that. So it was a lot of learning, guys. When I first got into YouTube, you know, I dabbled in videography, but it was more just like I would put together these videos with music and clips, and then I would just mash them. It would be like a compilation video, and you know, it was mostly for my family and you know, special occasions. I would make these little videos, and people, you know, my friends and family, they loved it. And then when I got into YouTube, there was just this whole other side of photography, which is videography, and I had to learn all over again. And it took me about a year and a half to figure it out, like really understand what it is. And I know a lot of you guys ask me like for these settings or you know, how do I make this, or I would love to see how you edit. Like, editing is, again, it's a whole new thing, and honestly it took me a year to figure it out, but it could take somebody else like a lot longer. Somebody who doesn't have a photography background, for instance, like you have no idea what ISO means, you don't know what the shutter speed or an aperture, you don't know any of that stuff. It's kind of like a lot of that stuff kind of transitioned over to videography when I got into YouTube and just figuring out my style. And that's the thing. I think stylistically, especially like in photography, having a style in photography, it takes a while to develop a style. And I'm not talking about an editing style. I'm talking about a shooting style, right? So say I'm doing weddings, okay? I'm just gonna shoot in 2.8 all the time because that's my style. That's what I mean. Like, it's something that you do. I don't want to say like 100% of the time, but like 90 to 95% of the time is like, this is how your settings are. This is what you use. This is how it's gonna be, and people are gonna come to you because of this style that you have developed. And you know, like an editing style, is completely different. It still can be a thing, like, but a shooting style is just a style. When I say style, it's just a style, like the way I shoot videos now. I'm getting there. I'm getting to a point where okay, so now I have a style, and I feel like a lot of you guys have noticed. I got a comment saying, you know, your videos, they feel like movies. It's like watching a movie, and thank you so much. Thank you for that comment, because that's, well, I'm kind of working towards that, like something different. I don't want to be a moto vlogger per se. Sure, that's the genre. That's a genre I'm in, and it's motorcycles. But I don't want to just be, you know, I don't want to be extremely typical chin vlogging. You know, this channel is a little bit of everything, and I'm trying to develop that over time, because it takes a lot of time to make something good, really. You know, if you look at my early videos, the early channel videos, there was not much to it. It was camera, we go out, mess around, boom. Now I'm taking a more stylistic approach to my videos, which, you know, I feel I do go back and watch my own videos, and it helps me get better over time, and I feel like I have gotten better. And it just takes time. Like, everything takes time. No matter what gear I use, I think stylistically the gear doesn't matter at that point. Does that make sense? All right, so this is my this is one of the living rooms of my house. It's my front living room. So if you notice, I take advantage a lot of so there's this big ass window right here, and this lets in a lot of natural light. So I do take advantage of that. And then my walls, they're all gray. I see that. These are my lights, by the way. These are just cheap LEDs. Let me turn one on. So these are just LEDs on the stand. And you can change the color. Right. So yeah, I got a couple of those. I have a crap ton of these umbrellas that I don't actually use anymore. Only when I'm doing like photo shoots. We got my little reflector there. I got a few of those. This is my tripod. I used to strap this before I got this little tripod. I used to strap this on the back of my Kriega, and I would even canyon carve with that. So I have a bunch of strobes upstairs. But yeah, this is my little area that I make videos. So I've shot photographs here of people, my daughter. It's kind of cool, because having a house that's almost like studio like all the walls are gray, so it really helps me out. Like, when I want to make videos, it makes it a lot easier. So I got a bunch of stands in there, some fucking flashes, a bunch of GoPro stuff, and then my big strobes in the other room. This is the theater room / my office / daughter's playroom. We got this mini fridge we actually don't use. It's got like board games and crap. This lens right here. This is the Rock. Called the Rock 14-2.8. So it's by Rokinon. there's another company that makes it. Basically, it's like it's a manual lens. This one's a manual. They do make them in autofocus now. It's a wide angle lens. It looks like a fisheye, but it's actually not a fisheye. It's actually a wide angle. It's a 14 mil. It does get distorted. You just have to learn how to, like, once you learn how to use once you know how to use a wide angle, it's just kind of like you have this one shot all the time and it gets repeated, and it's really cool. It makes everything really, really cool, in my opinion. Not a lot of people like the wide angle fisheye look, but once you know how to use it, it's, again, I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to learn about videography, and I have done vlogs with this, to be honest, and it does give it a really cool effect, but it's really heavy, so I put it away. But for photos, I wanted to challenge myself, and once I learned how to use it, I started taking way too many wide angle style photos, and I had to put it away because it was becoming too much for me. Like, I'm just like, oh god, it's kind of gimmicky to me, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it's not my style. I'm not being challenged, and I'm just taking these photos that are cheating, you know? I mean, it just kind of, I'm not even thinking about it anymore, because it just shoot it this one way and it's gonna come out great. If I could go back and change something, I would probably use the Panasonic camera, the GH5 or whatever. But I may do that in the future. I may get like a GH5 or something, something in the GH line, just because I've seen it's a video DSLR, and it produces really nice quality video images. And not to say the Sony doesn't. Like I said, this is just a more versatile tool for me, because it's kind of like video and photo. But the GH5, I think it's more geared for video. It's got like just better features for video, and I think it has a screen that just flips out. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it has a screen that flips out. That's it. That's one thing about Sony cameras. The screen comes out and it tilts, but it doesn't flip out. So like for vlogging, it's very difficult. But I've gotten used to, like, I kind of know where the focusing distance is on this lens, and you know.